Hello everyone, welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry and I am a blue dot in a red state utilizing Tarot to kind of help us navigate through these just very interesting times here in the United States. So I really do appreciate you spending some of your time with me. The focus of today's reading is going to be, will the real POTUS please stand? And the reason I want to look at this is I've been noticing kind of a pattern when it comes to Trump, is that he doesn't seem to really know what's going on all the time. And the reason I say that is to give you some examples. When it came to Signalgate, and when he was asked about that, he was confused about that. He hadn't heard anything about it, and he covered and said, "Well, I heard it was successful." And then if you read even through that chat thread, JD Vance, it was coming across like, "Well, I'll tell him. It came across like JD Vance was the one in charge and that he would be the one to inform Trump of this military action, when really it should have been Trump doing that to begin with, not JD Vance. Whenever he was, I believe it was the Alien Enemies Act, and when a reporter asked him about him signing that, and he was like, "I didn't sign that." It was like, "Yeah, you did. We have it like right here. You signed it." And then the other thing was, those security clearances. Whenever he had that big old long list of all the people that he pulled security clearances from, and most of them, like, we don't even have those security clearances anymore. That was like a one-time deal, or that was a specific thing that we had those clearances for. We don't even have those anymore. So it was like, what, and then, so if you notice, there's been kind of this pattern with him. He doesn't do mornings. They trot him out to the Rose Garden. They give him his little Sharpie, and they give him his little reality TV show moment where he gets to sign whatever executive order they place in front of him, and he gets to do the show. He has his weekly cabinet meetings, which is all set up, Celebrity Apprentice style, where they go around saying, the 5 things they did that week, to impress the Mad King Don. And it's just, and then he goes and golfs on the weekend, and while our economy is tanking, he is like playing golf. And it's like, who is running the country here? I mean, because he does not seem to be the one in charge. So I want to look at, who is actually pulling the strings. Okay. We have several candidates here. We have Putin. We have the Heritage Foundation. We have maybe somebody else. So I want to look at who is actually in charge. Okay. As always, these are for entertainment purposes only. Who is, let me fix this camera here. Okay, who is in charge of the United States? Because, as I said, it's not really acting like, he may be the one in the Oval Office, but what can we find out about who is actually pulling the strings in our country? You always hear about the Republicans talking about the shadow government. I'm thinking that's a lot of projection and confession there. So who is... Okay. Also, just in case I didn't say it, for entertainment purposes only, who's in charge? This is a card of movement. This is a card of, wanting this country to go into a new direction and being battle weary, not happy with things that they have seen. Okay. So I'm kind of feeling like this is the motivation of whoever it is in charge here. That this is someone who is saying, we want, this is someone or a group of people that they see. This is a card of being battle weary. Okay. They have not been happy with the direction that the country is going. A state of rest. Working on a plan. This has been a long time coming. This is the Heritage Foundation. This is, this just describes them. This is like they've worked on this plan. It's been, it's been a long time coming. They've been working on this for a while now. They finally found this opportunity and to go into a new direction. Okay. Let me just, is this the Heritage Foundation? You know, it's interesting because I asked about, is this the Heritage Foundation? And I get people coming together, working towards this, you know, like a common cause. And, you know, this is also a card of in the shadows, the more negative side of this. So this is like a shadow government that has been in the works that's now kind of, you know, coming to light, you know, stepping out from their state of rest. You know, they've worked in the shadows and now they're stepping forward. They're coming forward. As I said, they want to take us back to a time, you know, like to the 50s. And that has been, you know, I've seen that reported also where, you know, Trump thought the 50s, that was a great time to live, you know, like when, you know, it was not that great, you know. It's like, well, if you really want to look at that, why don't you look at what the corporate tax rate was? You know, we didn't have billionaires back then for a reason. And oh, the Tower card, I was not expecting this. And this Tower card is going to be a couple of things. It's kind of what we're going through. We're gearing up for this. Okay. I said on the previous reading, you know, I keep getting this Tower card a lot. This is a harsh card. Okay, and in this deck, it is even, you know, harsher. You know, the lightning strikes, the building is on fire, and people are, you know, thrown to the ground here. You know, this is what we're getting ready to go through. We're seeing the building on fire. We're seeing the smoke. Okay, and so I'm kind of curious: is this, you know, and we've heard, you know, burn it down, burn it to all costs. You know, you hear Steve Bannon talking, and this is exactly what they're wanting, the chaos and the destruction. So this Tower card, are they going to be successful in this? Things that are hidden, things that are behind the scenes, things, you know, and also I've been also really feeling like the crazy, you know, the more negative this is, you know, lunacy, just the crazy with this. A lot of crazy, you know, it's like they're not taking care of the people. They're not, you know, it's like the Queen of Cups. These would be those, I'm feeling it's like those programs that make our country who we are. You know, the U.S. aid, the, you know, the research, the education, like everything that makes our country, the spirit of our country is what's being destroyed right now. And two sides coming together. I'm feeling this card is like we get out of this by like coming together and moving forward. The other part of this could be it's not just the Heritage Foundation. It's, you know, I'm feeling like there's a lot of overlap between Putin and the Heritage Foundation. There's going to be a lot of it's like it's pretty convenient for Putin and it's pretty convenient for the Heritage Foundation, that Project 2025. There's a lot of overlap going in that same direction. So it's more than just, there isn't just one cause for this. Okay. There were many people that saw Trump as a useful idiot to get what they want. Okay, so where's Putin in all this? How was he part of this Project 2025 Heritage Foundation thing? He saw an opportunity, okay? He saw, you know, an opportunity to activate, what's his, the code name they have, Krasnov or whatever, you know, for Trump. Trump's a useful idiot for many people. So there's a lot of overlap. I was asking about Putin. He saw an opportunity to get what he wants for his country. Okay. I mean, if you were to write a list of everything that Putin would want to destroy our country, everything that Trump has done would be on that list. Okay. And the Knight of Wands, the actions that they're taking, and they're like doling them out one at a time, two at a time. It's like it's quickly, it's every day something. But with this, I'm seeing like we have a list, and every day we check off that something on that list. For Mad King Don, he's the one that is the useful idiot, to bring our to move this country in the direction that Putin wants. Now, if Putin wants your country to go in a certain direction, chances are it's probably not in your best interest. It's going to be in his best interest. And they're just as happy as they can be about this. Yeah, so what else let me just ask, what else do I need to know about this? What else? So much disappointment. Okay, and as you know, in past readings, I get this Five of Cups. So much disappointment, but there's still hope. God forbid, let's hope that this card isn't. Oh, but wait, there's more. There's still more for them to destroy. They want to control the money. I keep getting this, like they want to be, and by they, the Heritage Foundation Project 2025, they want to be the ones who hold all the money. Money is power, and then they give pennies to the people. Okay, let them eat cake. They're achieving everything that they've wanted to achieve with our government. I mean, the Hierophant. And this is also, the Hierophant, it's not just like the government, it's like the spirit. It's like the spirit of those institutions. Mad King Don, we're at the whim of Crazy Town. Okay. And the Justice card, that's interesting. It's like, I feel like they feel justified in doing this. I wonder if this is the courts going to stop him. Because so far, at least the lower courts and the federal courts, those lower courts and the appeals courts have been upholding the law. Is this going to continue to be so in the Supreme Court? Quickly, the sun comes out, things are brought to light, and a more practical path forward. So I think that for the most part, the Supreme Court may not hold in every single case, but for the most part, I'm seeing that they are bringing things to light. It's like anytime Trump asked for the Supreme Court to step in, it's like, okay, but do you know that you're going to have to you have to defend your position. And so whenever they have to defend their position, that's when we start seeing, kind of like a method to their madness, or there's no method in that. They're just doing whatever they want and trying to make the law fit for what they want to do, not the other way. They're manipulating the law, and it looks like the Supreme Court does step in somewhat for a more practical approach to this. I was not expecting that direction of that. So let me pull this back up here. Yeah, as far as, will the real POTUS please stand? I get that this has been something that's been planned for a long time. This has been in the works for a while now, and by decades. I mean, that Krasnov, Agent Krasnov that's been something that's been worked on since the 70s, 80s, that they've made him a Russian agent. And then you add to that the Heritage Foundation Project 2025. It's like you have, it's almost not even the enemy of my enemy is my friend. It's like, oh no, we're peas in a pod. Let's combine our resources, and like this shadowy government type thing of what's going on behind the scenes. They have this list of what they want to accomplish, and they really are just rolling them out. Go out there and sign this. They tell them, sign this now. Do this now. Okay, good boy, go play golf. They're giving him the reality show portion of that he wants, the drama of it, the spectacle of it. They're giving him that to appease him. Hey, you get to have your reality TV show. You get to be the center of the world, the universe. You get to sign your name. You get be a good boy. They're playing on his ego so much. And in the meantime, they're destroying our country. So the courts are holding. The Supreme Court looks like they may have a little bit more practical approach, fingers crossed. They may not every time, but on some of these cases, it looks like, they will, that common sense and the law will prevail. And so, yeah, we have kind of this rogue presidency going on right now. Anyway, and we'll see, how that continues to go forward. As I said, I keep seeing it's like this all is culminating, to a point. And yeah, a reading that I have coming up also is The Will of the American People versus Putin. Putin accounted on a lot of things, but he didn't account on the will of the American people. So I think that will be a very interesting reading when I do that one. So thank you so much for spending some of your time with me. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe. I'll put some more readings up here. You can check out some of my other readings. And yeah, I will catch you on the next reading. Have a great day.